There have been thousands of anonymous witnesses over many decades that have witnessed UFOs and aliens, and most have chosen to keep quiet for fear of being ridiculed. But what if people with high social standings claim that UFOs and aliens not only exist, but some are living amongst us? Doesn't that give this subject more credibility, and shouldn't governments of the world now stand up and take notice? Or maybe governments and the military have always known that extraterrestrials exist and have chosen to keep these facts from us for fear of mass hysteria. The following are 5 prominent citizens who would have us believe that maybe we are not alone in the universe. Number 5. Edgar Mitchell, NASA astronaut. Edgar Mitchell was a NASA astronaut and the 6th man to set foot on the moon. In 2004, he told the St. Petersburg Times that a cabal of insiders in the US government was studying recovered alien bodies, and that this group has stopped briefing US presidents after John F. Kennedy. He said, "We all know that UFOs are real. Now the question is where they come from." On July the 23rd, 2008, Edgar Mitchell was interviewed on Kerrang Radio, where he claimed the Roswell crash was real and that aliens have contacted humans several times, but the governments have hidden the truth for 60 years, stating, "I happen to have been privileged enough to be in on the fact that we've been visited on this planet and the UFO phenomenon is real." In 2015, Mitchell made an astonishing claim that it was aliens, not diplomacy, which prevented the Cold War from descending into the Third World War. In a Daily Mirror interview, Mitchell said extraterrestrials were interested in our military capabilities. "My own experience talking to people has made it clear that the ETs have been attempting to keep us from going to war and help create peace on Earth." Number 4. Charles Hall, nuclear physicist. Charles Hall, a nuclear physicist and ex-military American weather specialist, claims that the United States military has been in contact with an alien species for years. He says the aliens would dress as humans and had even visited Las Vegas. In 1964, when he was a weather observer at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, he witnessed interactions between the military and a group of tall, white, human-like extraterrestrials. And when you encounter them, it's such a shock you're not sure if you're looking at a ghost or an angel. Mr. Hall said he had contact with 3 types of aliens: the tall whites, about 2.5 meters tall, greys with yellow-orange skin, and what were called the Norwegians, with 24 teeth, who look like humans and speak English and dress like humans. They were principally involved in technology transfer with the US military, and their crafts were capable of travelling faster than the speed of light. Number 3. Stanton Friedman, nuclear physicist. In 1968, Friedman told a committee of the US House of Representatives that the evidence suggests that Earth is being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial vehicles. He also stated that he believed that UFO sightings were consistent with magneto-hydrodynamic propulsion, which is a method for propelling vessels using only electric and magnetic fields with no moving parts. Friedman has a long history with military and government contractors and the field of ufology. Friedman has hypothesized that UFOs may originate from relatively nearby sun-like stars, and a piece of evidence that he often cites is the 1964 star map drawn by alien abductee Betty Hill during hypnosis, where Marjorie Fish, an astronomer, constructed a 3-dimensional map of the nearby sun-like stars, such as Zeta Reticuli, about 39 light-years distant. Friedman claims that we have enough proof without a shadow of a doubt that Earth has been and is being visited by aliens. Number 2. Neil Armstrong, astronaut, engineer. Neil Armstrong, who was the first man on the moon, claims that there were ships and structures on the moon that were not human-made. Fellow astronaut Buzz Aldrin also witnessed these abnormalities, and when they both reported back to Houston, their information was censored from the American people, apparently to keep the country from rising in panic. In an interview, Armstrong claimed that whilst on the moon, they were warned off and that their ships were far superior to ours in both size and technology. Neil Armstrong relayed the message to Mission Control that 2 large mysterious objects were watching them after having landed near the moon module. but his message was never heard by the public because NASA censored it. Number 1. Fife Symington, former governor of Arizona. In 1997, during his second term as governor of Arizona, Fife saw something that defied logic and challenged his reality. He witnessed a massive delta-shaped craft silently navigate over Squaw Peak, a mountain range in Phoenix, Arizona. He said it was truly breathtaking, and he was absolutely stunned because as he was turning to the west looking for the distant Phoenix lights, to his astonishment this apparition appeared, this dramatically large, very distinctive leading edge with some enormous lights was travelling through the Arizona sky. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, he said that this craft did not resemble any man-made object he'd ever seen. The authorities claimed that it was high-altitude flares, but this was certainly not flares because flares do not fly in formation.